Alright, put this down. Okay.
Okay, we're good? We're good? We're ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so, start moving things. Alright, so welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm in Daytona Beach. I'm hanging out with some friends before Tuner Evo. And I'm going to interview my buddy now. So, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Anthony Purcell, also known as Halcyon. I'm an automotive photographer and filmmaker.
So kind of, again, as we always do in these podcasts, we kind of start with branding, marketing, that kind of stuff. So, I saw in another podcast where your name came from. It did come from a song, one of your favorite bands or something along those lines. So, do you think that helps brand your company, or do you want to be known as... So it's like more as that, is your alias Halcyon, or is that like your company, or how
it's kind of just like a brand to a sense, because like my other work that like I really don't post about or put online at all is just my name, like Anthony Purcell, as like run like full. But the Halcyon thing just kind of became, I think where it really took off was like where I niched it just to like automotive aftermarket,
right?
And only strictly kept it to that.
Gave you the look like, what are you doing with this bottle over here? So anyways, yeah, that's good. I mean, like, in terms of that stuff, like, I mean, do you feel like you've done well selling as Halcyon into the automotive market?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that helps? Do you tailor the music a lot to that as well as, like, kind of bringing it in that circle of things?
Yeah, I mean, like, before ever taking photography or anything like that seriously, music was probably where my headspace was at. So, I mean, back in the day, it was more like metal and like punk and stuff like that. But the band it stems from is more like instrumental rock with like very sweeping crescendos, and it's just like the music that like makes you feel inspired to create, and that's just like kind of.
You also make music, don't you?
I'm trying.
Because I see the mixes come out. I mean, every
Yeah.
year you drop a mix with all the music that you used to the previous year. Has anybody tagged you in any videos they've made from using your songs in their new videos?
There's a few.
That's tight. So you get like
it's cool to like see people's perception of how they like want to use my song.
Their inspiration and stuff. I mean, there was also a guy making Grand Theft Auto videos out of your videos.
Yeah, shout out to him.
That was tight. Cool. Those were real crazy. So I guess like, kind of tying into that, you use the Japanese Lucky Cat as your icon or your iconic image, waves and all that stuff at the end of all your videos. Where did that come into play from this?
From the word?
Yeah.
When I knew I like wanted to create like a logo or anything like that, I always thought like using anything camera related and in your logo was kind of like wearing a band t-shirt to like their concert. So I just knew like I've always been into Japanese culture. Like I have a Lucky Cat tattoo. I just like ever since I was like younger, I would like collect like little Lucky Cat like things,
little trinkets and stuff like that. Just
and it's just like you may not know how to like say the word or like.
I looked it up. I was gonna enunciate it on my screen, but I didn't want to like look stupid.
But like, it's very definable. Like if you see it, like you've seen it before.
Is that trademarkable? Can you trademark that, or do you like run it? You kind of.
It's mostly like a deviant of one I found. I'm not even gonna lie.
Right.
Because that was like when I was first starting and like very new to Photoshop and all that. Like I found one and like deviated it to like my liking. So,
gotcha. I mean, like.
I don't know if I could like trademark it unless I like design something like.
I mean, the branding is good. Every time I see a Lucky Cat, I think of you. So like, I mean, that's. And I want to take a picture, and I'm like, I'm going to text him. This is going to be cool. So, it's like, let's talk about, like, kind of some advice or something to going towards, like, what's going in the weekend or whatever. So there are going to be a lot of photographers, videographers coming to this event. That's kind of, like, one of the draws of these bigger car shows where they've especially got people from out of town and stuff. Do you have any advice for somebody that wants to get in and make a video of this event or, like, but on a budget? Like, let's say, like, $1,000 budget. Like, what would you suggest to somebody who doesn't own anything that wants to get into this, that has like $1,000 budget to like start their photography or videography career?
That's good.
Right.
That's good. You're like, I know.
I wrote this down. I made this question.
I think before you like spend, just like blow your money on like adding up all these options on like what you could buy, you'd be like, what do I want to go to make? Because I mean, I've seen like videos with lesser quality material to use like come out better than, better like. Not to like put anyone down, but it's like it seems like the first thing a lot of people do when they first get into videos, like jump to like the Ronin and like a A63 or like an A7S, and without like previous like ways of working towards that.
This like kind of like ties into your, you know, the Japanese culture of like driving in car stuff specific. Like they believe in driving and then building as you drive.
It's like getting kind of used to your equipment as you go.
Yeah, like growing with your stuff. I mean, you can go out and build a full blown FD car, or you can start in your rear wheel drive welded diff E36.
Like, will you get there where you like finally know it? Yeah, for sure. But like, if you're just like more comfortable with easier equipment, like you'll feel better. Do you
have any suggestions for like people who want to buy like maybe like a lens or a filter or something that you recommend as like a starter product?
Well, we all know the CPL.
Right, that's a major thing.
We all know the CPL. A tripod above everything, because like there's a lot you can do with a tripod other than get like a stable shot. If you put it on like one or two legs, you can like tilt it forward as you like tilt the head up and get like a fake jib shot, or you know, run time lapses. And there's a tripod for sure. Like a nifty 50.
Like the 50-1.8. So for anybody that doesn't know what a nifty 50 is, it's like the lowest end 50 mil that's owned by the company. Like Nikkor makes one and Canon makes one.
And Sony
makes one. And they're all about $100, like $110. Yeah. If it's from Sony, it's probably like $400. But yeah, it's the low end of that stuff. And then you can get into fancier stuff, obviously, like the 51.4s, the 51.2s, the Ls, the Arts, all other stuff.
Like maybe grab yourself a little LED panel or something.
Right, of course, like the small ones. So on Amazon, they're like $30. Yeah. In camera stores, they're usually like $100, whatever. Kind of throws you off, and then you can buy like the gel fronts for them to add coloring to your. You know, those are all low end stuff that you can get for that.
Of course.
Kind of getting into it.
Yeah, and then like maybe a cheap slider.
Is there anything that you suggest that people look for when they film at these events? Like, because your brand is built around almost shooting car shows per se.
Right, for sure.
Is there anything that you think that they should look for that most people wouldn't normally look for, or advice?
I would like walk in the show. Sorry to cut you off the end. I would like walk in the show and just like look at how people are looking at the event.
Right.
You know, like when, say like one of my most like vivid memories of like shooting car shows, like at Philly, Tunico, Philly, like a kid and his two parents walked in, like his mom smiled like just as like wide as him. And it's like, that's like that moment.
Like the emotion of it.
Yeah.
I think that's very overlooked. I don't think people capture. I have one specific friend, his name's Mixel Media, he's like another guy locally. He knows how to capture the people at car shows better than anybody I've seen, like locally especially. Like he captures the people and like the joy and like the emotion of the car show better than most, and I don't think people pay attention to that as much as like even I do it. I'll go in straight like, oh, here's a car, here's a car, here's a car.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of doing it too, for sure. Because it's easy when you like see all these cars and you're like, oh fuck, this is so many.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm a car guy. I like care about this specific thing. So, you know, do you have any like tricks and tips for after they've made the video to get themselves out there? Like, how can you help them promote themselves as like a brand or a photographer, videographer, like, because I mean, basically everybody's at that point right now where they're like, there's so many dudes coming into the game, but no one really has an idea of how to like make a name for themselves or like really get out there. Do you have any advice for that? Because
it would be interesting to like try it all over again, because mine was like myself, Chris, and Mike have been doing it for so long that like it kind of like grandfathered us in, I want to say, almost to a sense.
I felt the same way from, like, when I had a blog.
For sure. So like, I mean, it would be interesting to just like try as like a different person and like, but I don't know, I think you can brand yourself in the way you shoot.
Let me turn my volume down.
It's okay. So like in the way you shoot, like I feel like anyone who watches my videos knows like I do like the skateboard shots that are like super fast with the long focal length, so like everything's like very spinny to a sense. Or this is a good one. I mean, the way you go about posting stuff too, like the way your Instagram feed looks, the way your IG stories look.
Like really branding yourself, like in terms of aesthetically branding yourself.
Yeah, the way it just like looks clean, like when people go to your page, like is it like just like nice to look at? Like
my SORCERY page is all like threes and in groups of threes of like that, but like I have like, you know, just ideas in different people. Like everybody has a different mentality of how they want to go about it, and then like I feel like there's a lot of lost in translation across social medias. Like where somebody will do really well on YouTube and have no Instagram following.
Oh yeah.
And then they just don't know how to like apply the same techniques that they're using to YouTube to Instagram. Or like, do you think people should cut up video clips and put the clips to Instagram to feed people to YouTube? Or do you think like you should try to keep people on one network? Or how do you feel about that?
I would say like right now, my YouTube is like just about double my Instagram, and like here and there I'll try and like YouTube has that new community page where it's almost like Twitter for YouTube. Like every now and then I'll try and like just like send some people over with like, oh like if there's like a long gap between videos, like because I don't upload that consistently, like I'll tell you like, oh, you should follow my Instagram because I post the stories like almost every day of like what's going on.
Do you think Instagram stories have been a really good like help for filling the gaps?
Yeah, because I remember trying to build an audience on Snapchat, and then like it took me like a year to get like 1,000 views on a snap, and then Instagram stories launched, and I was already off the bat getting like 2K.
That's about what I like was doing originally, and I was like, oh, like this is sick. Like then you start pinning the stories like into your highlights and trying to build stories from those stories.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I remember like when they like IG stories first launched, like trying to use both, and then I just like watched the Snapchat ones like decline. And then like once it declined like 50%, I just deleted Snapchat.
I got you. I mean, that's kind of like I think the latest updates kind of pushed a lot of people away from Snap, but like. Instagram did a really good job of launching the highlights, and then like the
highlights are dope.
We saw what like I don't know if you watch Peter McKinnon, but like the YouTuber, him and another guy that he's on his channel, he was like, oh, we're gonna launch stories into our highlights. So like you literally click the highlight. I have it on my @V2Lab page. You can click one, and it's like a cover photo, and then you can click through and actually see the story of the day. And then you go to the vlog or the whatever YouTube video, swipe up, and you can watch the visual of everything that happened. And it really put it all together. Like, I mean, it gave creators a new idea of like what to do.
For sure. And
then like, I mean, have you ever tried shooting video like vertical? Like, have you done anything like that for your Instagram stories?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had this conversation with someone before, and I've just never gotten around to it. But I would definitely love to. And it's so easy because the cage has the thread mounts everywhere, so I can just thread the camera
side. Yeah. Do you use a vertical grip as well for your camera, or no?
No, it's just the top one. I mean, you can toss it on the sides, but the top one is.
Because I've always wondered that because these cameras have awful battery life, like A7S2s, and you have an Arth 2.
Yeah.
And so, essentially they run the same little battery, and the little batteries die all the time. So, like, I walk around 4, and you have how many, I'm sure?
11.
So he has 11 batteries. So that's just to give you an idea of how quickly Sony batteries die.
It's bad.
I actually don't have a vertical grip, but I've always thought about getting one just to have 2 batteries in the camera at one time instead of, because it works really well on the Canon, but I didn't want to put it on the Ronin and, like, cause the Ronin any more weight.
Yeah. You can detap it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a fake dummy Sony battery, but it's just like a ground wire into like a bigger battery that you could just mount to the top handle.
I have not seen that yet, but I mean, I am plugged in right now, so I guess that's got to
It's essentially the same thing, but like instead of like plug into the wall, you like plug into
like a Mophie or something.
A bigger
like
battery,
That would make sense.
Or the Ronin.
So, I have a question, like kind of leading a little bit away from that. Like, there's a lot of talk about how people charge for videos, right?
Right.
And so, we always say, like all the older dudes and everybody that's been in the game a long time always gets frustrated when there's some new dude that's like starting to make a name for himself, but like that guy's not charging anything or charging bare minimum.
Right.
Is there like a guide or like kind of like advice you'd give to people on structuring their pricing initially, or not pricing themselves out of the market, but maintaining the industry standard, I guess, of like how to make money and how to price along that? Like, do you have any advice for that?
I feel like everyone has their own like price area, and like that's like the way I feel it works to a sense. Is like the market will determine what they want to pay for your service,
right?
To a sense. So like when people like ask like, there's some, it's like how long you've been shooting for, like what does it look like, what do people around you look like. So it's just like if you're giving people this price and they're like okay, like, and they're all like saying yes, like you're charging too cheap, like, not enough for sure. But if like it's just like crickets afterwards, people don't think it's worth that.
Gotcha. I had a job per se. I'll make it very general, but like I got a job that 3 of my other buddies had the same job in other states doing. They were all charging a specific rate, I came in and charged double what they were charging. And the company accepted my offer without any hesitation. So it forced them to raise their price. They were like, well, there's no way you're going to make more money than me because I shared the price with them. I shared with them. I said, hey, are you guys getting this amount of money also? And they were like, wait, what? No. Yeah. So then I caused that whole industry to like double their prices.
That's good. Yeah.
And then all my friends now started to make more money because we all spoke about it. And I feel like there's a lot of like fear, I guess, in telling your friends what people charge. And
Chris, Mike, and I would talk about it all the time.
Yeah, there needs to be like I feel like there needs to be more of a dialogue within the industry of like the photographers need to like community together and say, hey, look, this is what's happening, and this is what we charge, and this is what we want to be like at. This is what we all deserve to be paid for this. I mean, back in the day, like magazines used to pay $1,000, $1,200, and now they're down to like $300 to free. You know what I mean? Like their dude's doing event coverage for free, not even asking for anything, not even as much as a watermark on the photos. Right. And you're like, was getting your name at the top of that little article really worth that much time and effort?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and so I was curious as to like, you know, how you kind of come out of like, you know, what you would suggest to new guys and say, hey, like what's a base price that you think like videographers should start at for an event, like, you know.
Well, like on the flip side, the biggest mistake I see is like people like just start shooting and then complaining like nobody wants to pay for videos.
I also agree with that too.
Yeah,
like completely agree with that.
Because it's like we kind of have to understand like when it comes to like personal features, like that's not going to be where the money is because it's not like a necessity. It's like a luxury. Like if someone can afford you to shoot their car, like they've got to be doing pretty decently, right?
Andrew Link speaks about that a lot, about not chasing private clients. Like private clients are a waste of time. If you want to shoot someone's car, just shoot it. Otherwise, focus on the commercial aspect, the editorial aspect.
That's why it's like when working with like Tuner Evo or Stance Wars or any other show, like the product's for them, so they're the ones paying for it, but like all the features going on inside it, like those are just like cars I feel represent the show and the video and the vibe well, and I'm not going to like charge them on top of
like, of course. I mean, it would be crazy to charge somebody for a feature in a video that you're selling to someone else.
And then it's like, what if I charge them, but like someone with like a crazy build hits me up and he's like, yo, shoot, and then I'm like, I can't say no. And there goes our scrim.
So, oh, we're bright now. Let me move this out of the way.
How's it looking?
Are we okay? Because that was Halcyon's rigging. I'm gonna give him full credit for that.
Let me set it back up.
Oh, you want to set it back up? All right, here you go. Here, we're gonna fix this real quick.
Yeah.
So kind of in
we're gonna keep the conversation going.
So you know what? This is a good example of like making things happen on the go. This is the thing that he brought, and we're gonna use gaff tape to tape it up to the light to diffuse it. So that way, I mean, if I look harsh or he looks harsh, it's just something that we kind of decided on the go.
Check out the difference. So if you like look at all this and then now look at it, it's a little, there it is.
So that's like a huge, you know, I mean, that's something that literally is like, he's tearing up gaff tape right now to like tape it to the light. You'll have to do a lot of that on the go and make the best of like, you know, situations and whatever else. The light's about to turn off too. So I mean, hopefully we won't run into those problems.
It's an Airbnb, people.
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, definitely don't picture that going anywhere. It looks a little weird, I'm just trying not to put it on the bulb.
Yep, I got you.
Alright.
Alright, I think we're good.
I don't see that going anywhere, I'm just gonna...
Rotate it back, turn the light. Blinky.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Alright, once Blinky chills out, we're good.
So that's good. So anyways, yeah, that was just a really good way. I mean, even in that situation, making adjustments on the fly are something you're going to have to do. If you're watching this as a creator and like you're trying to make the best of any situation, that's literally gaff tape and what looks like a reflective screen that we're shooting the light through to get a softer light on us from the harsh light above us. So that's good. Anyways.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, like shooting private clients, I feel like for me is like, or private clients or like features, whatever you want to call that, is like practice for what I want to do, which is like shooting commercially.
We say like those are like passion projects, and you should do a lot of those. You know what I mean? You should fill your time with passion projects between your commercial jobs. There's also like, speaking of what you said, like how like there are a lot of people at the bottom tier that really feel like they deserve to be paid and they can't find clients that want to pay them.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, we've always said that, like, there's a lot of arrogance in ignorance. Like, the people that don't know they're bad because they've been, like, gassed up or led to believe that they're, like, amazing by people that also don't know, have that feel of them being attacked because they're not getting paid, they're not making money, and they don't realize that they should be hustling for free to build a portfolio.
Absolutely.
So that their commercial aspect comes in, you know?
Exactly.
So, do you feel like you've been trapped in the video bubble? Like,
yeah, bro, I haven't shot photos in so long. I mean, like, photos, like, where I started.
Yeah.
And there's something I just really love and enjoy about just, like, sitting down and working on one photo for, like, 4 or 5 hours. And, I mean, video's just been what's in demand and what's paying me.
Right.
But, yeah.
Do you prefer photography? Do you almost prefer it?
I almost do prefer it. Alright, let's not go anywhere. I almost do prefer it. Like, video, like, it's a totally different, like, creative outlet, and, like, sometimes there's, like, moments where it's just, like, there's definitely a feeling that I don't feel with photo when it, like, comes to, like, the sound and soundtrack and all that, and, like, the motion of, like, a video clip.
Do you feel like you convey, like, the message better in video?
Yeah. But, like, photo for me is more therapeutic.
Right, in terms of, like, the editing aspect and the sitting and the enjoying. Like that, like, you get that feeling when you get the perfect shot. I remember you telling me this right when I, like, started doing video. You were like, there's a time where you get, like, the perfect, like, shot of, like, light and emotion. You're like, oh, that was it. This whole shoot was worth it because of that one shot. And so in photography, you shoot for that one shot specifically instead of catching it in the middle and being like, oh, I got it, you know? So that's crazy. Like, I was always curious if you felt like you got sucked into that bubble and you're like...
Definitely, for sure.
Do you feel like it helped, though, to learn photography first before learning video?
Yeah, composition and just, like...
the rules.
Yeah. It sounds, like, cliche, but, like, the composition is, like, what makes, like, a video appealing to look at.
Do you feel like it would have been better... Do you feel like there would have been advantages to start the other way and learn video first, then move to photography?
Maybe on a more technical scale, I feel like you might be able to learn the camera quicker if you're doing video.
So... Do you have any shortcuts that you set up on your cameras to, like, make them work for you, or do you like to help get that aspect out?
Well, it's a Sony, so the menus are just a pain in the ass. So there's not really much shortcuts.
Right. Because I feel like what I was gonna say for that is like I have the same thing, but then it stops me from shooting photos because I have it set up for video.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, there is no, like, photo video. Like, all these settings just, like, over. You gotta, like, change the aspect ratio, the color profile, all that.
You gotta get it right.
Resolution, all that. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I just wanted to make sure. You know, I always felt like I was like, I wonder if he, like, because I remember you used to send me pictures back in the day, and you'd be like, yo, like help me go over these, help me, like, get these right, help me get them, and, like, that slowed down, and you're like, yo.
Yeah, I kind of see. It's like I kind of miss just, like, tweaking that one photo down to, like, that one, like, little hot spot, like, on the, like, lip of the bumper or something.
So, do you feel like it helps to be surrounded by other creative dudes that are in your field, like, that really, like, push your craft?
Oh yeah. Like, if it wasn't for Chris and Mike, like, the motivation definitely I don't feel like would be as high. Because
I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, and they try to do everything themselves, and they have this fear of the community. Like, they're like worried that their other buddies are going to critique them, or like they don't want the negative, not negative energy, but like the negative feedback on their piece to even make it better. Like, so like hearing that from you, like, I mean, I met you with those dudes, and I'm like, you were growing exponentially because you guys are all bouncing ideas off of each other and constantly working together. So like you can see the, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I was like with Mike the other week, and I forget the name of the company that failed because of this, but the CEO was surrounded by like a bunch of yes men who were just like, you have great ideas. Yeah, like do this. Like everything you say is like great. But like it drove the company into the ground. Right. And it wasn't until they all were fired and replaced with people who weren't his friends. Right. That were like real about like, yo, your idea sucks. Like this is better. I've
definitely met many people who can't even they can't bring themselves to fire the toxic people in their companies.
For sure.
And that, like as you're saying, like that needs to happen sometimes, you know. Sometimes you got to cut the crap and have somebody.
They'll keep it real with you.
That's awesome. So I mean, it's good to have your two friends that like at least in that circle. I mean, that tell you like, yo, like, that's not very good. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
You guys all use different editing platforms though, don't you?
Mike and I both use Premiere.
And then Crispy uses
Final Cut.
I use Final Cut. Okay.
Sorry, Robbie.
I just drag and drop, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. Then I have my ender, and I'm like, oop.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite car you've shot and featured?
Probably gonna say Steve's RSX, the green one.
The green one.
Yeah, because it's just like just such a perfect like vision of like how I would do a Honda for me. And I've always had like a soft spot for RSXs, and just the polished everything, the paint color, all the parts are super legit. It's just, and it sounds incredible. The turbo spool is just, oh my god,
so then
so good.
I have a question. How do you go about matching the car to the environment that you're shooting in? Do you do color matching? Do you do like style of car to like industrial or forest or whatever? Right. How do you do that? Where it's like
for most part it's like a visual aspect, but like with his car it was like more, this is a driver's car, and like most of the cars I shoot are more style, and that car is like fully functioned car, and he wanted to do it in the city originally, and I was like, that's cool, but like it's like a full race turbo setup, modified transmission, 10 pounds of boost, seats, cage, like this car needs to be driven. Right. And that was like the whole point of like bringing it to Bear Mountain.
And the winding roads and everything that you did. I remember the drone shots being like super crazy. Do you feel like that helped that the car was green and you were like in green stuff too as well?
Oh, if it was like spring and all the trees were just green, it definitely wouldn't have looked as nice.
Because of that. It was like that was the fall aspect, right? Yeah. And it kind of went very complementary colors, right, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very, I've always wanted to like kind of explain that, or like try to get someone to explain like how they go about like I'm a very color specific person. Like if the car is orange, I want kind of an orange background, or like I like that like color matching, like I don't know, that's just like something like a personal. And so I was curious.
Like in the same like hue range.
Yeah, in the same hue range, and like that way it's like almost like the color, like you have that color palette that all very like similar kind of goes or whatever goes together. So I was curious as to like how you went about picking locations, or if like that kind of came into play and stuff.
Yeah, like another good example would be like this GTR I shot for Ferrata. It's like flat army green. The wheels are bronze, so like it naturally went with like this industrial area in Staten Island that's like pale silver and like pale beige with like washed out concrete floors. So it was all just like very muted and flat.
And it matched the car perfectly. Yeah. I haven't seen that video, but I definitely will like, check that out too. I will also have Halcyon's channel, Instagram, all that stuff linked below, just so you're aware, and if you want to check that out. So like kind of going into that, like speaking of your like Instagram and all that stuff, you're getting into merch now. You've launched a store. You've launched color LUTs. You launched sound effects, which is like I bought them recently.
Thanks.
Those are like big aspects of your video stuff, like the sound effect part of it, the sounds. Are there like what's the direction you're going after this? Like, are you going to do color specific stuff to like Canon profiles or Sony profiles, or because I know that's the business aspect. I mean, growing obviously.
Like renting like a 5D and like shooting on it all day and like making LUTs for stuff like that. But I think for now, like the merch, like I always like did lightly here and there. Like I never really went as crazy with it, and then. I don't know what it was. I was just like, fuck it. Like, let's make like 10 sticker designs, t-shirts, air fresheners.
You basically launched the whole season.
Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. And like, it went very well, and like the digital downloads went much better than expected. It's something that like the way it turned, like because of the result, like it can afford me more time in the future to like spend more time creating that, and like I would love to for sure.
So do you do all the graphic design yourself as well?
Yeah, like for the
stickers and stuff.
Yeah, the only ones...
we happen to have those right here.
Yeah,
what do you know?
Since we have the show this weekend, and we're selling them,
all the stickers?
Yeah. So Sebastian designed this one because this one took like stuff beyond my capabilities. I just told him what I wanted, and he knocked it out of the park. And then...
it's like It's a sparkle in the UV coating, so you've got like the holographics.
So all these were printed by, aside from the die cuts, but all these were printed by Abbott over at AW.
Yeah.
He kills it every time.
Shout out to AW Stickers.
Yeah. And I didn't do the cars that are on these. That's EJ at Collective. But yeah.
He drew my car. He did an amazing job drawing it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like most of these are like looking for individual vectors and stuff, and then theming them all together. But like, because I can't draw vectors from scratch.
So who's gonna be running your booth this weekend?
The lovely ladies at Tunaribo.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get autographs from you then? You know, like what if they want you to sign the sticker or something?
They have to find me, I guess.
I guess you're gonna be running all around, huh? Like. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. And hopefully this is your first time vending too, right?
Yeah.
So be sure, you know, if you see this video before the weekend, go check Halcyon out.
Is it going up for the weekend?
Yeah, I'll have it up tomorrow.
Okay.
By 7 a.m. in the morning, after this is done, I'm going to drive home, put it together, and put it on the internet. Yeah, because I basically want to promote what you're doing so that for the weekend. That. So the weekend you come into it and you're going to be like ready to go. Like, I mean,
I brought like a mild amount of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But
you also drove here, which is like.
Also drove here.
How long was the drive?
6. It's supposed to take 16 hours, but like with gas, and I took an 1.5-hour nap, so it took 20 hours, just about.
Sick. So
yeah, with like a little skateboarding break in there.
Right. I got my skateboard in the car. And go, you know, skate a little bit, but yeah, that's tight. Like I'm hyped for you to like get into that like area of the car community. Like you started where I started, basically in the photo realm, and then kind of grew it outwards, and then like. It's really like just taking shape. Now you have a whole brand and like it's all built around your name. Yeah. So that's real crazy, you know? Like
for a while, I had this conversation with Sebastian a few times. Like for a while I kind of struggled with like, do I want to like grow the YouTube brand and like, well, like social brand, I guess you could say, and like the brand that is Halcyon, or what is it? Okay. Or like the whole brand that is, I didn't know if there was like a bug or something.
No, that's good.
I got scared. Or like the whole brand that is Halcyon, or do I want to like move more into like film set work? And I literally wasted like 6 months of my life like not moving towards either of them and just like being stuck in a mental bubble of like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, I'm there. I'm always there every day. I'm at that same place. So. And then after like I put in like. Or like I tried to connect with people that were in like the film set world, and like I feel like I got looked at very stereotypically because all my work was on YouTube, and it's all like run and gun, one man band type stuff for the most part. So I was just like, fuck it, like let's just do this. Go the other way. Yeah, because like the more commercial gigs with more people are coming in here and there slowly, like for automotive stuff. So yeah, just writing it out. I feel like we're getting into that realm where like people are starting to realize that like. You don't need a whole film crew to make proper content anymore. Like, especially for advertising stuff. I mean, people are coming into it with like one guy, one camera, and like making it happen. Like some dude at his house. Back in the day, you needed a whole studio worth of like equipment to edit a video, and now it's like some dude with a MacBook, like on the go in the plane, like while they're flying there at home. Yeah, London Motor Film Festival 16. Chris and I were the only ones there that were like, aside from the student films, like we were the only ones that were there and nominated that were just like. Shot by one person, edited by one person, like all done by one person. Everything else was like a production company. And you guys held your own, I'm sure. I tried, yeah. I mean, that's, you know what, it's just experience. You see what they look for, you see what they got from it, and now you're like, oh, now I know how to attack this better. Like I definitely want to work on something to submit. And you did the RWB stuff, that's what you guys had done for that, right? Yeah, they took Daytona 16 and then RWB Philly. Sick. Yeah. And so... so I just have like a couple questions from my Facebook, and I had asked them for you know, some stuff to ask you. So they're kind of like a bonus lightning round kind of questions. Right. You know, you just kind of bang them out. Bang. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to give like super detailed answers, anything too crazy, but like basically like send it. Yeah, exactly. Just go for it, and if something crazy comes out, I'll bleep it out. You know, whatever. But. All right, so Josh asked, how far do you plan to go with your videography career? What's kind of the future? Do you plan to like open your own production company, or what's the next level for you? Do you plan to make movies or? Like full feature-length films? I don't think so. But I mean, I want to move like strictly into automotive commercial advertising. Yeah. With like, I want to do it with the homies though. Yeah, like a production company with the homies. That's, you know, we've spoken about that shit. Yeah. Other stuff going on, you know what I mean? But no, for sure, like almost like. Do you guys ever look at what Yair's done, or like any of those kids out like like what Donut Media is doing is like super cool. They're kind of like, I feel like they're kind of like the BuzzFeed of car culture. Very recently.
And now there's a new company called Race Service.
Race Service, okay, yeah.
So like
okay.
50-50, like their investor split and all
Right,
the whole
okay.
whatever.
So there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah,
but they're both doing like different things, but they're both doing it really well. But like, I'm not sure if I'd probably be more towards Race Service than Donut. Like,
they're like a media company now that's really focusing on the commercial aspect of it. We need something like that on the East Coast. You know, the West Coast dudes are doing it, and we and they've been so good at doing it. Donut Media came from nothing. It's like 500, 600,000 subscribers already. All right, so let me ask the second one. Devin wants to know, how do you keep track of multiple projects, and like how do you keep putting out such high quality content split up over so many things? How do you match all of it?
Just don't sleep.
Don't sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you know that for a fact. Like when we talk at like randomly at 3 a.m. But keeping track of it, I don't know. I still haven't used I use a whiteboard like this, but it's not covered in stickers. You know, you kind of have your like categories like shot, like built the skeleton of the edit, colored it, sound, and just like a little like table. And
do you go back and color all your footage, your clips individually, or do you do?
Like as I'm editing, I won't color it. Like I'll wait until the edit's done. Like I might color 1 or 2 here because I'm like, yo, I want to see what that looks like. But for the most part, like it's like edit the whole thing, color the whole thing, sound the whole thing.
I'm also in that. Like I end up like clipping things together and like color grading it all together and having to go back and being like, oh, this is too dark. This doesn't match. Why did I shoot this like this? I just needed to find this one little question, like to make sure that I'm on it because I want to make sure everybody gets their fair say right here. Okay, so someone Charles asked, how did you get to where you are today? Like, give us a brief timeline.
Oh boy, I don't know if there's a way to make it brief.
Year you started.
Oh fuck. Started shooting video for fun, or 2009.
Skateboarding or cars?
Skateboarding first.
Skateboarding first, then cars, then it progressed. That's what, like 9 years now or something?
With like music in between.
Okay, and then you did music videos also, or?
No, like making music.
Oh, making music. Okay, yeah. And then here we are. You're the automotive photography, like videographer, like of like everybody, the idols. You're like iconic already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't sleep. All right. So there's a Chris Petruccio.
Yeah.
Is that how you say his name? What does "This Is Our Time" mean to you?
Chris just loves to fuck with me. He's literally making fun of or just like poking fun at the Philly video from Tunarima.
So Matthew asked if you had any stalkers or any crazy fan stories.
Not really. I kind of like get a random phone call since my phone number's on Instagram. Like here and there, but other than that.
They're like, yo, hello?
Yeah, there's like, I got a call the other day from someone. They're like, are you selling a GTR? I was like, no. I was like, I shoot GTRs here and there, but... Yeah.
I mean, I totally would have suspected, like, somebody would be like, hey, like, what lens do you use? Or, like, something really lame like that. Which, what lens do you use?
We have a Rokinon 35, 135, Sony 2870, and a Helios 56mm.
There you go. If you guys ever want to know what lenses he uses. Christian asked, any specific technique or skill that separates you from the amateurs? There's something you do better than everyone else.
I don't know. I guess everyone has their own like style.
Right.
But I don't know if I had to like pick one thing that I feel like helped me like make a look or style. Just the way I like curate to music.
Okay. Like the way you cut it up to music, or the way you like.
The way I find music, and I like, because for me like music was before photo and video. So like music for me is like just as big of a passion. So not only is it like editing to the music, but like sharing it with people.
Do you feel like there's a big part of like the audio engineering side that goes into video that like people overlook as well, or?
Oh yeah.
You wish people would spend more time. Yeah, I feel like maybe put some tutorials together for us in the future
and try.
And like really like put it out like how to audio and separate your video the way it needs to be. So okay, Jordan Donnelly says hi.
Hey, wonderful.
And then Styx, who you may call Stax. Styx would like to tell you that he's your #1 fan. And
thanks, Styx.
Brandon would like to know, why jalapeno tortillas are good, or what kind are good.
Combos.
Combos. Yeah, okay.
They're really good. There's some in the kitchen if you want to try them.
No, but if you want to buy Halcyon something, he likes jalapeno tortilla combos apparently. When are we doing another live Q&A on Facebook?
Maybe Monday.
Maybe Monday. If you see this and you wanna keep up, I'll post a link to my Facebook in there somewhere, and you can follow along, and we'll do a live stream possibly. So, what was your favorite location you've ever shot at?
Whoa. It'd have to be a tie between Angeles National Forest and
Well, that was the RSX, right?
that was the TLA video.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Shanghai, China. 'Cause
Shanghai, China.
It's just a crazy like Blade Runner looking city.
So, what's your favorite time of the year to shoot?
Fall.
Fall colors.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the weather's like nice enough that you can wear a jacket and like bust your ass all day and not sweat.
Favorite song.
Be Halcyon by Mono.
So if you want to look that up,
Yeah.
if you want to see where his whole brand, whole name came from, look that up.
Yeah.
So when do you sleep?
Between the hours of usually like 2 to 9.
2 to 9?
Yeah. It's usually not always the 2 to 9, but like probably 5.5 hours worth of between 2 and 9.
So there you go, kids. If you want to make it, 5 hours of sleep is the key to success here. So okay, so let's
sleep normal. Yeah, do normal sleep. For
normal
sure.
sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, every creative person I know is on the internet between the hours of 2 and 6 a.m. We're all online.
Mm-hmm.
You can message anybody and talk to anybody. Period. At that time. So okay, so we want to wrap this up a little bit, and so I want to give you a chance to give a shout out to something that doesn't suck or someone that doesn't suck. So, floor is yours to shout someone out.
That guy over on the couch, Brandon.
I can't turn the camera. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. But Brandon's over there.
But Brandon's gone through so much effort to help with the LA video, and now he's here in Daytona helping out.
And he's from like Milwaukee.
Yeah, and he just wants to create good content.
Hey, so
create good content.
Just keep that in mind. You gotta take risks and drive across the world to be a part of it. If you gotta get around it, be around it. So this dude's amazing, and I will have all his links to all his information in the description below. Be sure to follow him on Instagram. Be sure to check him out on YouTube. Check out all his videos. Check out everything he's done.
And shout out to you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
So, all right. I will see you guys soon, and this video will be up soon. Hopefully you enjoy it. Leave comments, and possibly we'll do a live stream soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.